Hey folks, it's time for some more quarantine drinking with GDP and the pig. I'm GDP and this is my pig. I'm never going to tire from saying that. I got to warn you guys. So today, it's a weekend, it's Saturday. I don't understand why that is important, but evidently it is. It was a beautiful day. I spent the day installing some railing on my porch, and to reward myself, I'm not opening one bottle, but I'm opening two bottles. Two bottles from one of my favorite producers. This is 1995 and 1996 Burlotto Barolo Neirane. Neirane is a crew in Verduno. It's actually, if you drive into Verduno, it's on the other side of the hill that you sort of drive past Belcoles in that area as well. So it faces sort of, I guess it faces pretty southwest. It is a little bit more part of Rivalta or La Mora than Verduno because it is on the other side of the ridge. It shares a cooler temperature with Verduno. The wines have a lot of freshness, but the soil is different. The soil is a little bit of a heavier soil, giving you wines that are a little bit heavier and more rustic. Now, these wines are very special because just like Monvillero, Burlotto's now famous cru, I feel partially responsible because these wines have always had elicited emotions for me. And in 2013, when I was at Snooth, I made Fabio Alessandro and Burlotto Winery of the Year. And hopefully that was a bit of a tipping point for them because before then they really were completely under the radar. It took several years for them to get to their sort of 100-point hallowed ground where they're at today, which is unfortunate because I'm not buying the wines. I'll buy the Barbera and the Pella Verga, but I can't afford to buy Monvillero anymore. It's sad. These wines are not made anymore. It's not because Fabio's not growing Nebbiolo Neirane, it certainly is, but now it's young vines. The vineyard was replanted. It's going to a Clevi with Monte Olmo and some Monvillero, Rocca Olmo. This wine, both of them in fact, were made in the same way as Monvillero is made today. Foot tread, long macerations. These are very traditional wines, and they share some of the aromatics in particular with Monvillero. Monvillero is a much finer, more elegant wine, but these are great. So two vintages, 95, 96. 96 was pretty panned on release. It's certainly a tougher vintage in certain ways. It's more leathery. It has less mass, although 96 is a vintage that really is marked by austerity and finesse more than elegance. So let's see what these are doing. The 96, when I opened it, was a truffle bomb. It smelled like truffles. It tasted like truffles. Intense, too intense for me. I like truffles, but not a ton. So I'm going to start off with the 95. I love 95 as a vintage. It reminds me of 88. It's a tough vintage, dark, black, leather, fruit, tannins that are a little bit rough around the edges. This has the whole cluster signature of Burlotto here. There's some olive tapenade, there's truffle, there's roasted strawberry. Very, very typical of Fabio's wines. A little mineral note there as well. Very 95. Mid-weight, fairly tannic for its weight, good but not great acidity. It's aging very well. It's got a lot of red fruit, a lot of tea character, dry tannins. It's a clenched, insane sort of angry wine. I was going to say masculine, and then I said insane, but I meant masculine. Good length. I opened these about 3 hours ago, 2 bottles. We're going to have some left over for tomorrow, so I want to see what was going to go on with them. Now I'm going to try the 96. 96 is arguably a better vintage. Not arguably, it's a better vintage. But the wines can be very austere. It's the last of the true old school vintages. Even 14 has a lot of old school character, but the fruit quality in 14 is very different. And it is still a truffle bomb. It's gamey. It's absolutely wild boar and truffles and dried strawberries. And here, it might be because I tasted tea in the 95. It smells a little bit like tea on the nose. Higher acid, finer grain tannins. This actually lacks some of the intensity and depth that the 95 has. It is classic 96, austere, edgy, nervous wine, not very happy to be opened. It'll go very well with dinner, but it does need some food right now. This is more elegant. There's no doubt about it. The 96 is a much more elegant wine. The 95 might be more characterful, but it's sort of like an old man with deep lines and dirt stuck in there and dirty, worn, beaten up hands that show all the life that was lived. That's not to say that these wines are at the end of their lives. They're firmly at the middle. They're going to require more than the 2 to 3 hours of air it had so far. It needs another probably 5 hours of air to really hit its stride. They've both been double decanted, so we'll probably have some wine left over tomorrow. Maybe I'll update this. Until then, and until we drink again together, friends, cheers.